Welcome to Heaven is Real for another NDE story. Today, we are going to look at the NDE of Anita Moorjani. Anita had cancer, but during her NDE, she was shown the source of her illness and how to cure it. Watch till the end, as Anita answered how she was able to cure her cancer. She has also written 2 books detailing her experiences. Links in the description. Let's get into it. I had cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, and on this morning, I could not move. My husband rushed me to hospital, where after doing scans, they diagnosed me with grade 4B lymphoma, the highest grade. The senior oncologist looked at my report and told my husband that it was too late, and that my organs were now shutting down. I only had 36 hours to live. However, the oncologist said he would do whatever he could but prepared my husband that I would most likely not make it, as my organs were no longer functioning. They started me on a chemotherapy drip, as well as oxygen, and then they started to take tests, particularly on my organ functions, so that they could determine what drugs to use. I was drifting in and out of consciousness during this time, and I could feel my spirit actually leaving my body. I saw and heard the conversations between my husband and the doctors taking place outside my room, about 40 feet away down a hallway. I was later able to verify this conversation to my shocked husband. Then I actually crossed over to another dimension, where I was engulfed in a total feeling of love. I also experienced extreme clarity of why I had the cancer, why I had come into this life in the first place, what role everyone in my family played in my life in the grand scheme of things, and generally how life works. The clarity and understanding I obtained in this state is almost indescribable. Words seem to limit the experience. I was at a place where I understood how much more there is than what we are able to conceive in our 3-dimensional world. I realized what a gift life was, and that I was surrounded by loving spiritual beings who were always around me even when I did not know it. The amount of love I felt was overwhelming, and from this perspective, I knew how powerful I am, and saw the amazing possibilities we as humans are capable of achieving during a physical life. I found out that my purpose now would be to live heaven on earth using this new understanding, and to share this knowledge with other people. However, I had the choice of whether to come back into life or go towards death. I was made to understand that it was not my time, but I always had the choice, and if I chose death, I would not be experiencing a lot of the gifts that the rest of my life still held in store. One of the things I wanted to know was that if I chose life, would I have to come back to this sick body, because my body was very, very sick, and the organs had stopped functioning. I was then made to understand that if I chose life, my body would heal very quickly. I would see a difference in not months or weeks, but days. I was shown how illnesses start on an energetic level before they become physical. If I chose to go into life, the cancer would be gone from my energy, and my physical body would catch up very quickly. I then understood that when people have medical treatments for illnesses, it rids the illness only from their body, but not from their energy. So the illness returns. I realized if I went back, it would be with a very healthy energy. Then the physical body would catch up to the energetic conditions very quickly and permanently. I was given the understanding that this applies to anything, not only illnesses, physical conditions, psychological conditions, etc. I was shown that everything going on in our lives was dependent on this energy around us, created by us. Nothing was solid. We created our surroundings, our conditions, etc., depending where this energy was at. The clarity I received around how we get what we do was phenomenal. It's all about where we are energetically. I was made to feel that I was going to see proof of this firsthand if I returned back to my body. I know I was drifting in and out between the 2 worlds, but every time I drifted into the other side, I was shown more and more scenes. There was one which showed how my life had touched all the people in it. It was sort of like a tapestry and showed how I affected everyone's lives around me. There was another which showed my brother on a plane, having heard the news I was dying, coming to see me. This was verified to me, as when I started to come round, My brother was there, having just got off a plane. I then saw a glimpse of my brother and me, and somehow seemed to understand it was a previous life, where I was much older than he was, and was like a mother to him. In this life, he is older than I am. I saw in that life I was very protective towards him. I suddenly became aware he was on the plane to come and see me, and felt I can't do this to him. I can't let him come and see me dead. Then I also saw how my husband's purpose was linked to mine, and how we had decided to come and experience this life together. If I went, he would probably follow soon after. I was made to understand that, as tests had been taken for my organ functions, and the results were not out yet, that if I chose life, the results would show that my organs were functioning normally. If I chose death, the results would show organ failure as the cause of death due to cancer. I was able to change the outcome of the tests by my choice. I made my choice, and as I started to wake up, in a very confused state, as I could not at that time tell which side of the veil I was on. The doctors came rushing into the room with big smiles on their faces, saying to my family, "Good news, we got the results and her organs are functioning. We can't believe it. Her body really did seem like it had shut down." After that, I began to recover rapidly. The doctors had been waiting for me to become stable before doing a lymph node biopsy to track the type of cancer cells, and they could not even find a lymph node big enough to suggest cancer. Upon entering the hospital, my body was filled with swollen lymph nodes. They did a bone marrow biopsy, again to find the cancer activity, so they could adjust the chemotherapy according to the disease, and there wasn't any in the bone marrow. The doctors were very confused, but put it down to me suddenly responding to the chemo. Because they themselves were unable to understand what was going on, they made me undergo test after test, all of which I passed with flying colors, and clearing every test empowered me even more. I had a full body scan, and because they could not find anything, they made the radiologist repeat it again. Because of my experience, I am now sharing with everyone I know that miracles are possible in your life every day. After what I have seen, I realize that absolutely anything is possible, and that we did not come here to suffer. Life is supposed to be great, and we are very, very loved. The way I look at life has changed dramatically, and I am so glad to have been given a second chance to experience heaven on earth. When Anita was asked about how exactly she went about healing her cancer, this is what she said. "I now know that a lot more exists than we are consciously aware of or capable of understanding. Each day, I am understanding more and more since the NDE. I am finding out that there are things I now feel I know or understand, which I never did before. The best example I can think of is, imagine there is a huge warehouse, which is dark, and you live in this warehouse with one flashlight. Everything you know about this warehouse is seen through the light of this one small flashlight. Whenever you want to look for something, you may or may not find it, but it does not mean the thing does not exist. It is there, but you just haven't flashed your light on it. You can only see what your light is focused on. Then one day, someone flicks on a light switch, and for the first time, you can see the whole warehouse. The vastness of it is almost overwhelming. You can't see all the way to the end, and you know there is more than what you can see. But you do see how all the products are lined up on all the shelves, and you notice just how many different things there are in the warehouse which you never noticed, never even conceived having existed. Yet they do, simultaneously with the things you know existed. Those are the things your flashlight had been able to find. Then, even when the light switch goes back off, nothing can take away the understanding and clarity of your experience. Even though you are back to one flashlight, you now know how to look for things. You know what is possible, and you even know what to look for. You start viewing things differently, and it is from this new springboard that your experiences start to happen. And so I find that in my daily life, I am referring to different aspects of my experience at different times, and I am understanding things in a different way, and knowing things I did not know I knew. I saw all people as energy, and depending where our energy level was, That was the world we created for ourselves. The understanding I gained from this was that if cancer was not in our energy, then it was not in our reality. If feeling good about ourselves was in our energy, then our reality would be positive. If cancer was in our energy, then even if we eradicated it with modern medicine, it would soon come back. But if we cleared it from our energy, the physical body would soon follow. None of us are as real or physical as we think we are. From what I saw, it looked like we are energy first, and physical is only a result of expressing our energy. And we can change our physical reality if we change our energy. Some people have mentioned I use the term vibration. For me, personally, I was made to feel that in order to keep my energy, vibration level up, I only had to live in the moment, enjoy every moment of life, and use each moment to elevate the next moment, which then elevates my future. It is in that moment of elevating your energy level that you can change your future, like my test results. It sounds very simplistic, but it felt very deep when I was experiencing the understanding of I.